You're most welcome to Molten Heights Education Services. Please subscribe to our channel. Um, Today we are going to look at differentiation from the first principle, but look at our function given. Wow, it looks nice. They are saying that differentiate y is equals to 1 over root 2 x from the first principle. How are we going to handle this? The steps remain the same. We shall call this as our equation 1. Then the next step will be adding small increment in y to what we have on the left hand side. Then we add small increment in x on the right hand side. So it means our next step will be y plus delta y is equals to 1 over, I said that the delta x is only added to x. So we shall have x plus delta x, but the whole of it was under root. So this becomes our equation 2. Then our next step would be what? Subtracting equation 1 from equation 2, and we have y plus delta y minus y is equals to 1 over root x plus delta x minus 1 over root 2x. So then there, what we are going to do, we are seeing that y and y is cancelling out. Then we shall have delta y is equals to 1 over root 2x plus delta x minus 1 over root 2x. So here the next step is going to be getting LCM of what is on the right hand side, and our LCM will simply be the product of what we have down here. So we shall have our delta y is equals to, we first put the LCM, which is root x times root x plus delta x. So the next step will be dividing our LCM with what we have here. So when we divide, we shall see that this will cancel and we shall remain with this. So we shall have here what? Root 2x minus. When we pick this LCM, we divide it by root 2x. Root 2x will cancel and we shall have root 2x plus delta x times 1, which is going to be as root 2x plus delta x. So the next step there will be rationalizing what is up so that we can do away with the roots up there. So when we rationalize, it means we shall get the conjugate of this and multiply it both the numerator and the denominator. So we shall have delta y is equals to root 2x minus root 2x plus delta x over. So when you're multiplying this and this times this is the same as saying root x. Since all of them they are under root, we shall have x into x plus delta x times, we get the conjugate. The conjugate will be simply changing the sign of what is it? The sign, our sign here, which is negative. So it will be now root 2x plus root 2x plus delta x over root 2x plus delta x, yes. So the next procedure there, now we shall multiply this times this and see. So our next step there will be, when you multiply, we shall see that what what is going to be remaining there? We shall have this one times this, giving us x. Then this times this will cancel with this times this. So we shall have this one times this, giving us negative x. Can put it under bracket, negative x plus delta x all over. I said what is on the denominator should not bother you. We shall simplify when you are what? Taking our limit as delta x will be tending to 0. So we shall have this as root x into x plus delta x, then times this is root x plus what? Plus root 2x plus delta x. Then it means when you open this bracket, x and x will go. So we shall have now delta y is equals to negative delta x all over root of x into x plus delta x, then times in bracket root x plus root x plus delta x. So it means when we divide through by delta x on both sides, we shall have delta y over delta x is equals to negative delta x all over root x into x plus delta x times in bracket root x plus root x plus delta x. So divided by delta x. We are seeing that our delta x is cancelling out delta x, which is on the numerator. So it means we shall have delta y over delta x is equals to negative 1 over root x into x plus delta x times root x plus in bracket x plus delta x. That is that. So from here we are going to take limit as what? As we take the limit as delta x approaches 0, so it means that we shall say that as delta x approaches 0, then our delta y over delta x will approach dy, will tend to dy dx. So it means when you put the whole of this will now become dy dx is equals to negative 1 over, where there is delta x will become 0. So it means we shall have x times x for this first part, then times in bracket, we have the other one is root x plus root x, because this delta x will become 0. So from here, if we simplify this further, this will be negative 1 over root x squared times 2. This will add up to give us 2 root x. Then this will be the same as negative 1 over x times 2x power a half, because root x is the same as a half. So it means our answer here will be negative 1 over 2. So here when you add the power of x times, because here we have x times x power a half, and from the rule of indices, and we know that here is power 1, when you have a common base, what we do, we add the power. So if we add 1 plus a half, this is the same as 3 over over 2. So it means our answer down here we shall have x to power 3 over 2 as the final answer of dy dx. So it means our derivative of y is equals to 1 over root x